Hey there, it's the Camel again, and welcome back to, wait for it, Camel Kingdom. Yeah, a project, or basically a park, which was laying down in my backyard for quite a long time, and I haven't had a go on it because there were just way too many other projects running. But now I decided with the 1.2 update we will be way more often in this park, and before going on with time-lapse as usual, I just want to show you how the park looks right now. It's really messy, it's really unfinished, it's just really the beginning. But first of all, we do have this little Rudi statue over here riding a custom-made coaster without having a coaster car in front of it, but anyway, he will survive, I guess. Yeah, we will have the entrance building, which I will quickly go over because you will see the entire build in this time-lapse, and this isn't the finished version, of course, it's the time-lapse version. So we do have this little bee coaster, which is a kiddie coaster I have released a couple of weeks ago, so many of you may already know it. Some may not, but you know, you can check it out. Just look for the Bee's Friend coaster on my channel, and there you see first of all a special time lapse and also the POV and yeah, stuff like that. So we do have the really unfinished sci-fi area with a restaurant going on over here. We do have a launch coaster in here which is pretty much unfinished. It will be a dark ride, and yeah, I'm going to talk about this even more when we are finally in this video to talk about this, but yeah, that will be somewhere in the next weeks. And then we do have a final coaster over here, which I have no idea which demon was hunting me, but this is total crap. I will definitely get rid of it. I have no words for it, but there are so many mistakes in this one that I can't even talk about them. But this was also before I was looking more into coasters, so please forgive me about that, but you know, I will get rid of this one. So that should be it already, with a little bit of just a little flyover to see what the park looks like in the moment. It's not much to show, I'm really aware of that, but I just want to give you this really quick overview. And now we do see each other in a second in the time-lapse. See you then. And there we are in the time-lapse as promised. And yeah, as I promised at the beginning, now I'm going to explain a little bit more what we are going to do with Camel Kingdom in the future. And you will see with the title of this episode already what I'm planning to do. So first of all, I will split the entire builds in different kind of sections. So this section is the first part of the Mainstreet. I never did a Mainstreet actually in Planet Coaster. I was surprised myself when I just watched all my older builds, and I just figured there's none built with the Mainstreet. So I wanted to do one, and I had pretty decent plans for one for my Seasons Park, but then I just ran out of time, and yeah, you know, I never built one. So now I really want to go in with the Mainstreet, and even with the option now that we have no collision, we can also let the train run through the main street, or we can do funny other things with coaster interaction, or I don't know, I've no idea yet, but I just want to go into the Mainstreet area. And once this is done, and I guess we will take about 3 or 4 episodes at max, once this is done, I will start over with a new section, which is kind of like a new series. Just the only thing is that we are in Camel Kingdom. I don't even know if I will call the whole series then Camel Kingdom. I might just call it somehow different. But what I can tell you already is that the next part after the Mainstreet will definitely be a pirates area. So this is down to many reasons. I never actually did a pirates area apart from my very first steps in Planet Coaster Alpha 1, where we just had the pirate set, and you know, first things you do in a game are just those things which are pretty obvious to do. And yeah, back in these days it was like build the pirates area with pirate assets. But then, you know, I got kind of bored by the pirate area because it was just too obvious to build pirate areas. So I just came around and did something else, which was the Space Mountain version 1.0. And so I just stepped over the pirates area back then. Once Alpha 2 came out, I actually had so many new stuff to try out, and before Alpha 3 came out, I even couldn't touch the pirates area either way. And then in the Alpha 3, I most of the time did my Seasons Park, and thus That said, there was no room left for Pirates Area, and once the final game was out, right, there were so many different projects, for example Space Mountain 2.0 and many others. I just didn't have the time to go in with Pirates Area. So now I have to say I'm so much looking forward to build actually Pirates Area, and I do have an idea to make it slightly different from what I've seen so far on every other player playing Planet Coaster right now. So I do have some ideas to make a really nice Pirates Area without making it look like all the pirate areas we have already seen in Planet Coaster. So don't get me wrong, I just have some ideas. I don't know if they will work out, but at least I do have some ideas. So that's what we do next, and after this I have no idea, maybe we go back to the sci-fi area and then I will just spend a few episodes in the sci-fi area. But I will set myself a limit to at least let's say 4 episodes at max for one area. Once those are done, I will continue with another area, just to make it a little bit more, exciting for you guys, because I think it's pretty boring to watch one series of, for example, I built my Pirates Area part 125. I kind of feel myself when I watch other people playing games like simulation games, and the first through 2 or 3 or 4 episodes are really exciting, but then I get kind of bored sometimes. I'm not lying there, and I think it's the best way to get in with different areas. And I have to say, it pretty much matches with the way I want to play the game. I don't want to spend too much time on one project. I just recently noted that while I was doing the Space Mountain, because it was fun at the end, because I really loved the results, but the last, let's say, 20% of the final build, they were really hard, because I wanted to do so many other things, so desperately wanted to go with different projects, but I just knew I had to go back to Space Mountain to make that one finished, and I even wanted to get it in before the 1.2 get out. So I ran into time issues, and I have to say, the final 2 or 3 evenings I had to spend in Space Mountain were really like, okay, I don't want to do this, but I have to. And this really, when this kind of mood appears, I think it's about time to wrap it up and to go on with something else, because I couldn't. That's also the reason why I did no time lapses there. I just don't think that they would have been good for you, because I would have been a little bit lazy about it, and that's not how I want to present stuff to you. And this is mainly the reason why I'm going to change a little bit the way I do the Camel Kingdom. So it won't be that classical, as I said, with, just get in with episode 1 to 25 and so on. We will just split it up into different areas, and then let's see where we go. And that's basically this what I want to tell you about the planning of Camel Kingdom so far. And now, because I just completely left it out until now, but I wanted to say something about the entrance building. So first of all, when I was first trying to get in with an entrance building, I was thinking about a really standardish, Disney-ish entrance building, really like Mainstreet-ish, and this kind of American Main Street style, American mid-80s, I don't know, mid-80s, 18th century, or late 18th century, I don't know, somehow those kind of building styles. And, then I was like, no, I just want to have a really modern entrance and really futuristic looking, and then after this we can do whatever we want. So the Main Street will be really classical and really like Main Street-ish, if that makes sense. I just know it's, what did I just say? But I'm a little bit confused, but I don't know how to explain it. I just want to go in with a really classic Main Street, but also with a really modern entrance building. I have no idea if it works out in the end, but just let's see if it was working out in the end, and if not, we can change it either way. But anyway, you can see me now doing the entrance building, which is basically with really modern structures. I also try to do with something with cables, that if that could somehow seem to look like glass walls. It doesn't do. It was like kind of just a little idea, but I left it like it is because it looked like really kind of good, because maybe later on we can stick in some other flags to make it really appear like an entrance building, and I also will then put down later on this episode some walls, and I'm kind of happy with the entrance building so far, because it's not like the building you pass through and it's closed on every side, but it's more or less like a really like a big building, which is like a welcome hall, more or less like this, and rather than just the building itself. I think it looks kind of cool also from far away, and the only thing I'm not happy with is like the front of it. Like I really like the little ticket booth building where people can join the park, and it really looks like standardish ticket booth with a little bit of a modern touch to it. But apart from this, I know, you know, there are just some elements missing at the end of this build. You will see in the cinematic shots later on, or in the screenshots I will put in. But I have some ideas how to fix that in some future episodes. But after this one, we will go on with the Mainstreet. So that should be it with my commentary so far. We've got a few more minutes left, and I will leave you alone with some music. And yeah, thanks for watching as always, and see you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.